Hi, my name is Lisa Lechuga. I am a member of YALSA.
And I'm Shannon Peterson. I'm Youth Services Manager for Kitsap Regional Library and YALSA Past President.
Yay. I'm a member of the YALSA Advocacy Task Force, and we're trying to promote all the awesome tools and resources YALSA provides to advocate and act for teens in your library and in your community. And each month we're going to focus on one advocacy benchmark that YALSA has provided, and the one that we're going to focus on today is implementing change by working with administration and colleagues.
And I wish Lisa had brought a color one because it's so pretty.
Our color copier is broken.
Welcome to library. But if you have a non-broken color copier, you should print it because it's really beautiful, and you can put it up in your office and stare at it when you're feeling like you're not sure what to do next.
Yeah, it is a great place to start. And so we're going to use just what we're working on in our system as an example to share. So in our system, we are working on 3 big goals for our youth services department, and Shannon's going to speak a little bit about that and how we started that work.
Yeah, so that's actually, in terms of this conversation of working with administrators and colleagues, that's kind of like square one of where we started, is starting to work on shared goals across our system that are kind of bigger than annual goals and more like sort of like the end game or the outcome of like all the work that we're doing should feed into those major areas. So one of those is early learning, another is STEM learning, STEM or connected learning, and the last is college and career readiness for teens. And there can be some overlap between those, but those are kind of like the big picture things of what we're hoping to achieve. We've been doing a lot of talk, or maybe just I have been doing a lot of talk about outcomes the last few years, and I think thinking about the outcomes that we're hoping to achieve in our communities with our kids has really helped us kind of think big picture about what we're trying to achieve, and through that create sort of smaller projects that feed into that can be, you know, multi-year projects, but they should always feed into those big core areas so we know we're sort of on target with these big picture things that we've identified for our community. Mm-hmm. And one of those projects for this year, which, you know, I bet is going to just continue full stop, but we're really doing the planning work this year, is a volunteer process and sort of streamlining our volunteer process and you know, building capacity so it's bigger scale in our system and has like a very specific framework and expectations across our system, which we haven't had before. And Lisa has been doing amazing work with you know, managing teen volunteers for years at the Port Orchard Branch Library, so she has agreed to chair a committee of youth librarians who are really digging into this issue.
Yeah, so like, it's just been interesting working on this committee, on this volunteer committee within my own system, and learning even from youth services librarians that there may not be a need for teen volunteers at their branches. And I think when I first started as a youth services librarian, I probably had the same perception. It's like, oh, well, I've got these kids coming in, I've got to create some busy work, I'll have them prep story time or set up the room. And through my growth and experience as a youth services librarian, like just building teens into programs and then learning that they had so much to offer, and we had some, you know, key volunteers that really made our branch services better. Like, they made our programs better, they were extremely helpful, and then like through the course of my experience, I also started thinking, well, you know, I think I can provide feedback when they're interviewing. So just building in like simple processes, but this is all stuff that I stumbled on or thought or experimented with. And like just going back to this volunteer committee and working with teen librarians and youth services librarians and understanding that, you know, they don't feel like there's a need to have these volunteers, and changing the attitude from that to like, well, teens need us. We live in a rural community. They don't have a lot of job opportunities or internship opportunities, and the library can play an important role in that. Mm-hmm. And then in that committee work, you know, just like it's a much broader conversation. So it's not just youth services librarians, and I think with advocacy on any component, like a lot of people just turn to youth services and they're all like, you deal with it because you're the expert.
Absolutely.
And, you know, really, we can't do anything successfully without other departments or without administration. So, like, communicating in this context with our HR department to, like, share what we're working on, but also to convey that they have a very important role to play in making a difference in kids' lives. So just working interdepartmentally, and that goes up the ladder as well. Shannon is working on advocating and sharing out with managers and admin. And so it's a much broader context for just like providing better volunteer and career readiness opportunities for teens. It just includes everyone. And so we're working on how to act for teens in this capacity. And a lot of it is information building right now, but we hope that it becomes a structured and valuable system.
So to make it work, I mean, to say a goal, like, so getting back to that, like, big picture goal of college and career readiness, like, that's what we're working on through this project. And you, like, it's crazy and silly to be like, oh, Lisa, you build college and career skills for that teen alone while you're doing 5,000 other things in your
Right.
super busy branch library. And we have a lot of 0 to 18 people, and it's just nuts, right? And that's probably, like, what most libraries are like. So it's been really, really important to say, like, if that's the big goal, like, if our director has agreed that college and career readiness is important, if our communities have shared that with us and identify with that, then, yeah, the HR, like, the process of hiring teens has to be streamlined, and it has to work, and it has to be successful for teens. Like, next we're going to have to talk to, like, our PR and marketing department to help us share this out and, you know, create materials and show, like, what we're doing in a meaningful way to back to our community. It's helping us build collective impact. So we've, like, met with community transition programs or school districts who are doing some of this work to share best practices on what they're doing. So it's helped us, you know, really solidify partnerships. So it really has created this, like, whole child holistic thing going on, not only in our system, but we're starting to build that in our community too through this one project, which has been really, really exciting to see.
Yeah, and Shannon and I always have really long conversations about libraries. So there, you have one. Thank you everyone at YALSA, and check out those benchmarks.
Bye.
Bye.